I'm ready. You give us a few minutes, man. Alright guys, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wa la aqibatu lil-muttaqeen, wa la udwan illa ala al-zalimin. والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين على سيدنا محمد الصادق الوعد الأمين وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين وأصحابه الكرام ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. You probably may want to keep it away, or that's away enough so it doesn't make that sound, right? Alright guys, today I think it's going to be more theory than practice. As a matter of fact, it's going to be the whole lesson today, theory and no practice. Because we want to finish today, inshallah, and then starting from next time, we can just go on and practice. So, the first thing that we're going to learn today is going to be the qalqalah. I know that you have taken this before, but I'm going to stress on it a little bit more and make sure that I hear from you guys the correct way of reciting with qalqalah. That's number one. Number two, we're going to get into the saktat, hafs. They're called the pauses and stops, al-wuqūf, wal-ibtida, the places where you stop and also the places where you start reading. And then the third thing that we're going to do, which is a big chapter, but inshallah, we're going to go through it swiftly. We're not going to stop too long, because it's not going to be possible for you to remember all of those details. And that is the Sifāt al-Hurūf. That is the attribute of letters, the attribute of Arabic letters. So I would suggest you, since you're not, most likely you're not going to be able to learn all of those categories and where the letters fall in the categories of Sifāt al-Hurūf, I would recommend that you go back, if you need to go back at it, on YouTube. Inshallah, Hafiz Fawaz is going to upload that on YouTube, and then he's going to share it with you, the video. You can always go back to it, and you can, or maybe the book. I mean, there are so many books. They talk about the Sifāt al-Hurūf, the attributes of the letters. You can always refer back to the books, inshallah. Tajweed books, not all the Tajweed books are going to have this, Sifāt al-Hurūf, but sometimes if you just search for it online, or if you come to me, I'll be able to provide for you that. Or like I said, you go back to this video in the future, you will be able to find all of those details, inshallah, there. Alright, so we're ready? Alright. So let's go very quickly, since we already took this one, the qalqalah. What is qalqalah? Qalqalah, it doesn't have a meaning in Arabic language. The word itself, it has no meaning. However, it stands for the echo. The voice, it can be normal, and sometimes certain letters, they can make our voice, when we hear it, it can be heard as the echo sound. For example, when we say قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ, أحد, that d, it was a qalqalah. So we call that the echo sound applied on da. So we have two kinds of qalqalah. And qalqalah also can have some more explanations to it, but I want to make sure that you remember and you focus on these two main categories, the kubra and sughra. Qalqalah, kubra. And then we said sughra. So qalqalah kubra is when it is, what does it mean kabir in the Arabic language? Big. So it is something big that's happening. It's a big echo. And then sughra, it comes from saghir. What does it mean saghir? Small or minor. So here we're dealing with when one of the 5 letters, qa, ta, ba, jim, dal. This is called qutbu jaddin. Qaf, ta, ba, jim, dal. If one of these letters is going to be in the middle of the word, or at the end of the word, the place where you stop at, you have to apply that echo sound. So, and like I said, we have two cases. We have the case when it is emphasized, that echo sound more, and then we have a place where it is less emphasized when it is in the middle of the word. So again, the example that I just gave you, قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ, أحد right here, we stop. Da is harf mawquf. So even though da has tanween on top of it, but since it's harf mawquf, it becomes what? With sukun, so sakina, we call it sakina. Harf mawquf always becomes sakina, regardless of the vowel that comes on top or on the bottom. So, and since dal now, it's sakina, and it is one of the 5 letters of qalqalah, you have to apply that echo sound to it. قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. أَحَدٌ. You're not going to exaggerate it too much, but also you're not going to go light at it. You're going to go a little bit heavy. Allahu Samad. Lam yalid wa lam yulad. So you have again lam yalid wa lam. Lam yalid wa lam. Okay. So right here again you have one of the 5 letters of qalqalah, which is dal. So dal is in the middle now. It's not harf mawquf. It's not the letter that we stop at. So it's in the middle of the sentence. We move on. I mean, we keep reading after it. So what's going to happen to it? Echo sound, but it's not going to be a major one. It's going to be a minor one. Lam yalid wa lam yulad. You can see the difference now. Lam yalid wa lam yulad. So the first one, yes, there was an echo sound, but not as emphasized as the second dal. Why is the second dal? Because second dal was harf mawquf, was the letter that I stopped at. Lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. All right. So, can you give me another example very quickly, guys? From anywhere in the Quran. Say it again. Is that enough emphasis on the qaf? You got the right example, but the emphasis is not enough. Can you try it one more time with more emphasis? Good. قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. Can you try it again? Not ق. قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. Good. So, how about another example? Good. تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب. Another example. Can the حاقة be الحاقة? Can that be qalqalah? No. Why?
Because
there is no sukun on qaf. Qaf has fatha. It has to be sakina with a sukun. Come on, guys. A few more examples. Wal fajr. Where is the qalqalah here? Jim. Wal fajr. How about walayalin ashr? Is that qalqalah? No. La uqsimu بهذا البلد. لا أقسم. So is that a minor or a major one? It's a minor, صغرى. لا أقسم بهذا البلد. ده كبرى. وأنت حل بهذا البلد. كبرى again. ووالد وما ولد. كبرى again. لقد خلقنا two صغرى. إنسان من لقد خلقنا الإنسان في كبد. kabad, again, kubra. Let me just go, since we're going to finalize it now, inshallah. I wanna teach you this too. As you are saying the qalqalah, scholars they say that the echo sound has to come close to the vowel that the letter is ending with. For example, khalaqa. So let's say qaf, khalaqa. Qaf is a qalqalah letter. We all agree? Yes. Alright. And qaf becomes harf mawquf. But in reality, qaf has a fatha on top of it. So the sound has to be a little bit more going like towards the a. Khalaqa, khalaqa. Without making it khalaqa. That's not correct. But khalaqa is as is going towards that. Give me another example with another vowel. Bil-haqqi. Bil-haqq. Bil-haqq. How about another example? With u. Mir sad. D. So, or la uq. Uq, for example, here in this case, you have u before. Uq, simu. So qaf has a sukun, uqsimu, right? And in front of it, uqsimu. In front of it there is dhamma. And then qaf, qalqalah, right? So this qaf is not going to be uqsimu, or not uqsimu. But this is going to take a little bit of that. Uqsimu. Again, without going into the vowel, but a little bit leaning towards that. Uqsimu. Instead of uqsimu, uqsimu, like that. Is it clear? All right. Any questions in regards to qalqalah, guys? Qalqalah, we said it is what? Qutbujad, the 5 letters. And what does it mean when we say qalqalah? Echo. The echo sound. That's it. And it has the 2 categories. Or let me just mention to you another example. Ibtila, right? Ibtila. You would not say that ibtila, but ibtila. It's almost like ibtila, but it's not ibtila. Ibtila, closer to e, kasra, since e is coming right in front of it. All right. So let's move on. What was the second thing we said we're going to do? Pauses, right? Pauses and stops. There are, generally speaking, and I'm not going to get so much into it, but generally speaking, there are four places where we stop, or we consider it good to stop, or we consider it bad to stop. So we have waqf tam, a full stop. And then we have waqf kafi, which means it is sufficient enough to stop. Waqf hasan, a good place to stop. And then you have waqf qabih. Waqf qabih means it is not good at all to stop there. All right. So somebody who knows the Arabic language, that's why, guys, it is highly recommended to learn the Arabic language, because you will know not only what the Quran is saying, but also when you recite it, you will know exactly where to stop and where to restart again. So in the Quran, usually in the Qurans that are printed in Medina or Mecca, there are Qurans printed in the subcontinent world, in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and many other places around that area. There is also Quran printed in Turkey and in some other European Muslim, where the Muslims are, like for example in Albania and other places. You would see that there are slightly differences in places where they stop, where they recommend to stop. Somebody will say, isn't the Quran one book? Why do we have a difference? This is not about words changing. This is about where the scholars, they said that this is the most, this is a better place, for example, to stop. Or this is not preferable to stop here, for example. Or here, you need a full stop. Now, when the Quran was written for the first time, it was not written with all of these details. Alright? Words that were just written. But it was not written like it is in English. For example, you write down me, or let's say George, comma, Mike, comma, and Philip went together to this place, whatever it is. So you have the commas in order to give a full meaning to the sentence. This is not the way how the Quran was written. Arabic, yes, it does have these full stops and commas and all of that, but when it was first revealed and it was first written down by the companions, it didn't have these details. As a matter of fact, it didn't even have vowels at all. Vowels, they were introduced later on. When I say vowels, e, I, u, right? Or tanween, un. Why? Because Arabs, they didn't need these things. Arabs, the moment they would see, for example, this one, they would easily read that. A non-Arab will have hard time reading this. But an Arab will read it and will say, alright, this is wal-fajr right here. I don't need vowels. You can understand now why the Quran didn't have vowels. But as the Quran was being spread or was being taught in other countries where people didn't speak the Arabic language, then it was necessary for every letter to be accompanied by a vowel, so people, they can read it correctly. So again, now, as I said, Qur'ans differ when it comes to the places where they recommend, scholars would recommend to stop, right? So I'm going to go with the Quran that is printed in Mecca and Medina, which is the most popular one, with respect to all the other ones as well. But this is the most popular, so let's just go by that one. Jim right here, you will see the sign Jim as you're reading the Quran. What does this stand for? Jim, it stands for it is permissible to stop. If we do not pause, it does not change the meaning of the verse. So here, it's good to stop here. We should stop. But if you don't stop, it's okay too. It will not change the meaning of it. And then we have another letter. This is letter Mim, right? What does Mim stand for? Full stop, mandatory stop. You have to stop there. Why? Because if you continue, the meaning can change, or it can be something ambiguous instead of being very clear. Therefore, you have to stop there. And then you have another letter, or actually the combination of two letters, Lam and Alif. You would find it like this. This stands for stop. Don't stop. But if you stop, you have to repeat again a few words. You have to go back and repeat a few words and continue. All right?
Can I repeat the rules on that Lam Alif?
Can you repeat what?
repeat the rule if we stop.
Again, so lam alif stands for stop. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm saying that. Lam alif stands for no stop. But if you stop and you repeat again a few words before this rule is placed there, before the sign is placed there, then it is okay, as long as you go back again to a few words before it. And then you'll say, how many words before it? Well, it depends on the meaning of the verse.
If we don't stop, we can continue. Other option.
Right, so the right way of doing it is continuing. But if you're going to stop there, try to stop a word after it, or 2 words after it, or something like that, instead of here. But even if you stop here, it's not like haram, it's not prohibited or anything like it. It's okay if you stop. But you need to go back again, like I said, and do that muraja. And then you have this sad, lam, ya. I probably have to rewrite this. It goes like that, right? Sad, lam, ya. Which stands for, it is good to continue. But if you stop, there is no problem either. Once you stop, you don't have to do muraja. You don't have to go back again few words before it. Alright guys? Sad, lam, ya is better to continue, but you can stop too. If you stop, no need to go back. And then you have this one, qaf, lam, ya. What does this stand for? It's better to stop. So this is the opposite of this. It's better to stop, but if you continue, no harm. It's fine too. Better to stop, but if you continue, no harm. And then you will see a scene, which is like this. We call this is the sakta. What does this stand for? The ruling of this one is unique. You have to stop, and there are only 4, I believe, 4 places in the Quran that has this scene, this sakta. Kalla bal rana, Surah Al-Mutaffifin. In Surah Al-Qiyamah as well. This scene stands for stopping. But if you stop, once you stop, you have to give 2 harakas, pause, and then continue without taking a breath. That's why I said the rule of this one is a little bit unique from the other ones. Again, Sin, sakta, stands for stop, don't take a breath, and then continue. For example, kalla bal. Let me give you this example. Can I erase these? كلا بل ران على قلوبهم. Alright? So right here you have a scene on top. This is Surah Al-Mutaffifin, one of the last juz surahs. كلا بل ران على قلوبهم ما كانوا يكسبون. Another example. In Surah Al-Qiyamah. بل تؤثرون. No. This is not going to be a part of the word, this scene. It has nothing to do with the word. It is, you will see it in the Quran. It is right on top of it. This scene. It's like, you know how iqlab has this meme here? Or like all the other signs that I just explained, like qaf, lam, ya, like that. This is how this scene is going to come to. It's going to come on top. كلا بل ران على قلوبهم. What's the other one from Surah Al-Qiyamah? وقيل من راق. وَقِيلَ مَنْ. And right here you're going to have the sin and then راقٍ. Sin right there on top. وَقِيلَ مَنْ راق. And then you have in Surah Yasin. What's the example in Surah Yasin? Can you think of it? من مرقدنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن. من مرقدنا. Scene, you will see that scene. هذا ما وعد الرحمن. من مرقدنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن وصدق المرسلون. And then another place is Surah Al-Kahf. Alright? عوجا ولم يجعل له عوجا قيما. عوجا. عوجا. This is how it ends. Then there is a scene. There is a stop here of the ayah. And then قيما. قيما. So same thing right there too. Stop, pause, continue. So these are the examples. وقيل من راق من مرقدنا هذا عوجا قيما ولم يجعل له عوجا قيما. Of course, this is according to Hafs, but according to some other readings, this is not the same case, in particularly with Surah Al-Kahf right here. All right. So let's get into the other one. The other any questions before we get into the next? Yes.
Can you go over the meme that is iqlab and the meme that is
That's a good question. That's a good question. So iqlab usually. So we said that for iqlab you have meme, right? You have a meme for iqlab. That will be on top of the letter. And then you have this other meme for full stop. So remember, this meme, usually in the Medina print Qur'ans or Mecca print Qur'ans, you will have this meme going down. Alright? For people who they know the Arabic language, it would be easy for them. Because Min ba'dihi, there is not going to be a full stop in the middle of the word, for example, right? Or even if it is a connection between one word to the other one, there is already the ruling there that's taking place. And it's not going to be two, the ruling and at the same time a meme. It's not going to be both cases in one case. So those who know the Tajweed rule, they will be able to distinguish between what is a full stop and what is iqlab. But if especially in the initial stages of you, when you are trying to figure it out, these rules, you have full stop, or you might have iqlab, you can be like very confused. Then remember that this meme, it goes down like this, the line. And this other meme, it goes like that. So when you see the meme like this is the meme of full stop. And the meme having this line going down is the meme of iqlab, substitution. But as you master, as you get used to apply iqlab correctly, you will have no problem distinguishing between this one and this one. Even if both of the memes are going to look the same to you, or even if you don't even see the meme, for example, for iqlab, you will know that there is iqlab there because of the ruling. What is iqlab? if noon sakina or tanween is right before what? Ba, then that noon sakina or tanween has to be replaced with a meme. So when that happens, there is no confusion, right? You can't expect there to have a full stop there, but you need to apply the rule of tajweed, which is a iqlab in that case. Yes. That's a very good, and this is what we also need to talk about. 3 dots. Let me erase this one. These 4 examples. Thank you for bringing that up. These 3 dots. They will be, for example, in Surah Al-Baqarah. But they will be in other places as well, but this is the first example. You will see it right at the 2nd page of the Quran. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alif Lam Mim. Dhalika al-kitab. Dhalika al-kitab. And you will see the first 3 dots on top of Ba. And then La Raib. Or actually, let me write it down first. La Raib Fi. So yes, the first 3 dots will be right here. And then the second 3 dots will be right there. What does this mean? These 2 dots. They're not going to be only in one place, remember. There will always be 1 pair of 3 dots and 1 pair of 3 dots here too. And usually, like within a word. So you can read this, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابِ, and stop there. And here, لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ.
Stop on here at once.
You have to stop at once. I apologize. This is the first place, and this is going to be the third, the second. So ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ. You can stop here. فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. You complete the ayah. So if you see these 2, you have to stop at either the first one or the second one. It's not good to continue altogether. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. You can go all the way up to here. And then هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. Or as I said, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. Why is this rule here? Well, the reason why the rule comes this way and it allows you to stop at either place is because the meaning of the verse. For example, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ. No doubt, right? ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ, that is a book referring to the Quran. There is no doubt. فِيهِ, in it. هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. There is guidance for righteous people. Should I write it in English to make it more clear? That is a book in which there is no doubt. Guidance, or if I can write it, there is no doubt in it. Guidance. For whom? For the righteous. Okay, guys. So when I say it in English, I can say it, that is a book in which there is no doubt, and I can have right here a comma or a stop. Well, when you have a comma, you usually stop too, right? A quick stop. So that is a book in which there is no doubt. In it, there is, let's add this too. Even in the Arabic, that doesn't exist, there is. But when you translate it, you have to adopt it in the English language. So you have to add that. In it, there is guidance for the righteous. Or I can say this sentence, that is a book in which there is no doubt in it. And I can have the full stop right here, or the comma right here. There is guidance for the righteous. Or there in it, there is guidance for the righteous. So same thing in Arabic too. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبٍ. That's a book that there is no doubt. There is no doubt about it. فيه, in it, يعني فيه هدى للمتقين. Or ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين. So both meanings, they can be correct.
What happens if you continue?
What happens if you continue? It's not recommended. It's still okay. You're not committing a huge mistake, but it is not preferred that way. It's definitely not preferred. Again, according to Hafs. Any more questions, guys? In regards to the signs, pauses and stops?
What is G?
I have to ask you now, what is Jim? Alright, guys, what is Jim? It's good to stop there, yes. What is Mim? Full stop, it's a must, right? Wajib, it's a must. What is Sad Lam Ya? Good to continue. But if you
No, go back, no going back.
right, how about Sad Lam Ya? I mean Qaf Lam Ya? Preferable to stop, but if you continue, no, it's okay. I mean, you can continue pretty much. I mean, if you continue, you're not gonna go back anyways, right? All right, so let me get into now Sifāt of the letters, Sifāt al-Hurūf. This can be a little complicated as a chapter, and like I said, I don't expect you to remember all the rules tonight. But as long as you have an understanding of what's happening, and you create an idea, I think I'll be pleased with you tonight, inshallah. So, let's read a little bit about the Sifāt of the Hurūf, of the letters. They differ, and letters, they differ from each other, and there are letters that share the same articulation point, and there are letters that don't share the same one. Knowledge of the attributes of all the letters is an extremely important part of Tajweed, and its application within recitation correctly will improve the recitation greatly. Sifāt, or the attributes of the letters, there are two types, which means that this sifa, or this attribute, never leaves the letter. And also you have the temporary, so you have the permanent, you have the permanent, and also you have the temporary attribute of the letter, which means that it is applied during certain circumstances only. The sifat of letters are divided in two groups. Then you have the characteristics with opposites or pairs, and then you have the characteristics with no opposites and no pairs. What are we talking again? What are we talking about? You're going to have, for example, 8 categories of attributes of the letters. And these categories, they go 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 like that. So you have 4 pretty much. Why? Because you have 1 and then you're going to have the opposite of that one. Alright? So you have, for example, a light letter. You have the attributes of those letters that are pronounced lightly. And then corresponding to that category, you have the second category where you have the letters that are pronounced heavily. So that's why I'm saying you have 2 and 2 and 2 like that. So you have one and the opposite of that one. The opposite attribute of the first one. Is it clear?
It's clear.
Alright? Yes, guys? Stay with me, please. Don't lose me. This is important.
4 major categories. 4 major categories.
4 major, I mean, here we have 8, but like I said, there are 2 and 2 like that. Any questions so far? Alright. So, then let's start with these 8 as I mentioned to you. You have the hams. The first category is al-hams. Actually, if I write all of these details, it's going to take a long time. So let me just describe them to you so you can have an idea. And if you are later on, we can print, this text and you can have it with you, inshallah. So the first one is the hams. What is hams? Hams means to whisper. There are certain letters in the Arabic alphabet where they require you, when you pronounce them, you are, as you're whispering, you're including a whispering sound in its pronunciation. And what are the letters of this? Ta, t. When you say t, I mean, you're not whistling, right? But there is a small percentage of that whistling when you pronounce the letter t, t, t. Or when you say th, th. Or when you say seen, s, s. Or when you say sheen, sh. Alright? Sad, fa, kaf, and ha. All of them, they have a small percentage of whispering while they're being pronounced. That's why they're called the letters, the hams letters. This is their sifa, this is their attribute, the whispering sound. This means that during recitation we allow the letter to come out with a flow of breath whilst pronouncing the following 10 letters. As I said, ta, tha, ha, kha, sin, sheen, sad, fa, kaf, and then ha. These are the 10 letters.
Do we have any grouping? Do we have any grouping?
Yes. It is فحثه شخص سكت. As I said, I can provide for you, inshallah, a printout for this. What is the opposite category of the Sifāt hams, or the Sifa hams? Al-Jahr. What does it mean, Jahr?
Clear.
Loud, right? Spoken. Uttered. Or it means also to announce. And it is the opposite, as I said, of hams. This means that during recitation we stop the flow of our breath. Hams was about letting the flow out. This is cutting the flow. Upon the pronunciation of the letters clearly with a strong sound. The letters which fall under this sifa are the remaining letters of the alphabet not included in hams. So what is going to be the remaining? 18 letters. All the other 18 letters, which is alif, ba, dal, the, z, right? You can see z, dad, ta, va, ain, ghain, qaf, lam, mim, noon, waw, ya. All of these are letters that are opposite of hams, which means that they have no flow. Their flow will be cut. Let's just go over them first. Example, there are so many examples. I mean, every word. ذَلِكَ, for example, the that starts with ذَلِكَ. Or the hems would be سِيمَاهُمْ. You see the sound that is being, you let the flow go. سِيمَاهُمْ فِي وُجُوهِهِمْ. Him, him, ha. The flow goes on. Simahum, but mim it's not. You see? Simahum, there is no flow of that sound. But simahum, there is a flow. So now, what is the second category now? We talked about the first two. The second group. The second group, it has the ashidda and also rakhawa, ar-rakhawa. These are the two categories in the second group. What is ashidda? Ashidda means strength. It comes from shadda or shiddatun. And this means that we trap or stop the flow of sound, but not the flow of breath though. We don't stop the flow of breath, but the flow of the sound of getting out. So we trap that sound within our mouth. These letters are pronounced with strength. They require strength to be pronounced. The 8 letters that fall under this sifa are alif, jim, dal, qa, ta, ba, kaf, ta. Now somebody will say, well, these letters, they were in other categories too. It's fine. Same letter can be in different categories. The same letter can be in different categories. The same letter can have 2 or 3 attributes, different attributes. But it's not going to have the same attributes within one group, guys. Alright? They will not have the same attributes within one group. They will have different attributes in different groups. But here the shidda, like when I say jim, it requires power, saying it. Or da, d, d. Or for example, when I say qaf, qamar, qamarun. Or when I say ta, at-taghut. But you can see that I'm stopping, not the breath, but I'm stopping the pronouncing. It stays in the mouth. At-taghut. Do you see? It's trapped in the mouth, the letter. Or for example, ba, abwab, abwab. Or when I say kaf, akbar. Or ta, at-tawrat, at-tawrat. The breath is not stopped, but the letter is trapped in the mouth as I am reading it. And what does it mean? Ar-rakhawa. Rakhawa stands for weakness. So they're not, it's completely the opposite of the shidda. Rakhawa means weakness. Or also can be translated as softness. This means that we allow a continuation of flow of sound, not breath though. The sound is flowing, but the breath is cut during our recitation. The letters are 16 of them. Tha, kha, the, za, sin, sheen, sad, dad, ta, ghain, fa, ha, wa, ya. All of these are 16 letters. There is a division in between the shidda and rakhawa called at-tawassut, which means moderation or the middle way. This means that the sound is neither trapped nor continued softly. The letters which fall under this category are the remaining letters that do not fall under either ashidda or rakhawa. So as I said, there is the third category within this group, and they don't fall in neither one of them. Lam, Noon, Ain, Mim, and Ra. Lam, Noon, Mim, Ain, and Ra. Alright guys, we're moving. So we have 4 already. What were the first 2 categories of the first group? Hams and Jahar. And then we have now Shidda and Rakhawa. So now let's move on to the 5th and the 6th. Al-Isti'la. And I introduced you these letters before. If you remember when we took the rules of letter Ra. Hurūf al-Isti'la. These are the heavy letters. But as I said, if you remember, Isti'la means to raise, or something that is raised, right? Elevation, or to raise. This means that whenever any of the following letters appear, we raise the tongue to the roof of the mouth. Alright guys? That's why they're called the Isti'la, because we raise, they're heavy for sure, but also the tongue is raised on the roof of the mouth. That's why Isti'la, يعني Isti'la al-lisan, the raising of the tongue. So this raising of the tongue makes these letters thick in sound. The letters that fall under this sifa or this attribute are Qaf, Kha, Sad, Dad, Gha, Ta, Dha. Now be careful. I did not say that only the tip of the tongue, but it can be anywhere from the tongue, a part that is raised to the roof of the mouth. For example, we have the letter Kha. It's not the tip of the tongue. Say it, Kha. What is being raised? The back of your tongue is being raised. Kha. When you say Sad, Sad, you see the sides. When you say, for example, Dad, it's not just the tip, but it is the tip all the way to the middle of the tongue, right? First half. But then when you say Ta, tip, right? It is more the tip. Dha, it is more the tip. Alright. So again, the letters of Isti'la are Qaf, Kha, Sad, Dad, Ghain, Ta, Dha. Khusa, Daghtin, and then Qidh. If we have to summarize them in 3 words. What is the opposite of Isti'la? The opposite of Isti'la is going to be Istifal. Al-Istifal. Istifal means to lower. Sufla. وكلمة الله هي العليا وجعل كلمة الذين كفروا السفلى. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made the word of those disbelievers the one that is lowered, but وكلمة الله هي العليا. But the word of God, it is the high one. The word of God, it is the one that's been raised. So istifal, it means to lower. This means that we lower the tongue or make the tongue flat whenever the remaining letters appear in order to keep it from touching the roof of the mouth. The letters that fall under this sifa or this attribute are the following letters: A, Alif, Ba. As I'm saying, I want you guys to say it with me. Ba. Do you feel that your tongue is going up? No, right? Ba. And then you have Ta, Ta, Tha, Jim. It's not touching the roof. It's not touching the roof of the mouth. Da, Ra, za, sin, shin, ain, fa, kaf, lam, mim, nun, ha, waw, ya. So what is the third group? The fourth group, sorry, that has these two other categories: al-itbaq and also al-infitah. Al-itbaq means to contact. This means that we allow some part of the tongue to meet the roof of the mouth, the upper palate, and compress the sound at the roof of the mouth. These letters are the strongest of all in terms of tafkhim. Tafkhim is the thickness or fullness. And the letters which fall under this sifa are the following letters: Sad, Dad, Ta, and then Dha. Itbaq is to contact, as I said. It means that we allow some parts of the tongue to meet the roof of the mouth, the upper palate, and compress the sound at the roof of the mouth. So the tongue is not just touching the roof of the mouth, but the sound is being compressed there, the place of the articulation where the tongue is touching the roof of the mouth or the palate. All right, guys? So what are these letters again? Sad, Dad. You can feel it, right? Da. And then Ta. And then Dha. Infitah means to separate, or it can also be used to open. The one was to contact, the other one is to separate, to get things together, right? And the other one is to separate things from one another. This means that we do not allow the tongue to touch the roof of the mouth. Al-infitah is the opposite of itbaq, as I said, and the letters that fall under this rule are the remaining letters not found under the itbaq. The letters are alif, ba, ta, tha, jim, ha, kha, dal, dhal, ra, za, sin, shin, ain, ghain, fa, qaf, kaf, lam, mim, nun, waw, ha, and ya. All the other 24 letters pretty much. And this was the last category of the fourth group. Are these clear, guys?
Third category was having 4 minor subcategories.
What is it?
So the third category was having like four subcategories in it.
3. You have 2, and then you have the other one that doesn't belong to neither of the groups. Okay? So you have the shidda, that is that they have the shidda, the strength, and you have the rakhawa, weak. But also you have lam, noon, ain, mim, ra that are neither in the rakhawa nor in the shidda category. They are by themselves. That's an exception. All right, guys. So now we're going to talk about those letters that do possess the temporary characteristic, or the characteristics without the opposites, so-called. These are the characteristics of letters that do not have the opposites. There are just 7. All right, so the first one is as-safir. What is as-safir? Safir means to whistle. This sound is a sharp sound. The letters that fall under this sifa are za, sin, and Sad. Hams is also similar to this, but these would be the strongest from the Hams letters. Okay? This is like whistle, these are the heaviest ones. So they don't have another opposite category that you're going to see, for example, the strongest in sound. Lean. Lean means to make soft or softness. This means that we pronounce the letters under this sifa with ease and without force or difficulty. The letters are waw and ya. And this rule only applies when the waw or ya are silent. So they are silent, right? And come after any letter with a fatha. These are the two conditions. And then inhiraf, al-inhiraf, it means to drift or deviate. Again, as-safir is the whistling. Al-lean, soft. Ya, we said, and also waw. Al-inhiraf, it means to drift or deviate. The letters under this rule drift or deviate away from their makharij, points of articulation, to another makhraj. The letters that fall under the sifa are lam and ra. At-takrir, and then takrir means repetition. And that belongs to the letter ra. So, without exaggerating, as I said earlier, without exaggerating, there is takrir in it. Almost like doubling the letter, but not in reality it's not doubling, but it sounds like a repetition. And then you have at-tafashi, which means to diffuse or diffusion, or to spread out. And the letter for this at-tafashi is letter sheen. When you pronounce it, it feels that you are diffusing a letter. Sheen. Ash-shamsu. Ash-shamsu. And then you have the istitala. Istitala, what is istitala? It means the lengthening. And the letter for this is letter da. Istitala. Arda. You don't say arda. Arda. There is this lengthening of the letter. Again, without going into two harakas or anything like that. Without doubling the letter or anything. But if you compare the pronunciation of letter da with the rest of the letters, you will see that da requires a little bit more time in pronouncing it. That's why there is istitala. And it comes from the word tawil. Tawil means tall. Istitala, lengthening in pronunciation. Wal arda. Well, you can see how fast you go through the other letters, but with da, there is a little bit more timing. We can't talk about seconds, right? If you talk about seconds, that's too much. That's not applicable. But what are those called? Fractions of seconds, right? Very small fractions of seconds. And then the last one is al-ghunna. And we're all familiar with the two letters of ghunna. What are those? Letters of ghunna. Noon and mim. Beautiful. So noon and mim, these are the two letters that come from the khayshum. It's called this right here, the nose. Anhara, amma. You can see that it is nasally produced, right? So this is called. These are the letters of ghunna. Noon and mim. So this is the knowing the Sifāt al-Hurūf. As I said, it's very hard to remember all of these 7 right away. But I believe if you go over it, at least like few times, 2 times or even 3 times, you should be able to remember them. If not all the letters, at least you will remember these categories and their opposites. Any questions, guys? All right. We call it a night tonight? Yeah. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.